Well, bakers, I know you love my basic recipes to make essential ingredients for your baking. Right now, I'm going to show you another fundamental recipe that every baker should have in their repertoire, and that is homemade frangipane. But I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to show you how you can make your own homemade almond flour to go into your frangipane. Here's how to do it. So for my almond flour, I'm going to use blanched almonds that are not roasted and not salted. If you want to use almonds with the skin on, you can totally do that. The only difference is it won't be kind of like a yellowy color like this. There will be brown specks in it, which is totally fine too. So put your almonds in a food processor or a high-powered blender, and we're going to blend them until they create a flour. I'm going to show you exactly what that's going to look like. So let me show you this. It's been blending for around 30 seconds. It is fine, it's kind of floury. There's still lumps. This is not ready yet. We need to go a step further. We need to get to the point where it's lighter, there's smaller lumps, but it hasn't turned into a paste and the nuts haven't started to release their oil. So I can see in the machine how it's starting to clump a bit, so I'm going to stop it and look at that. Nice fine almonds into a flour, but not a paste. If you blend too much, you'll end up with a paste, and that is not what we want. Now, all we have to do with this is just sieve it to get out any lumps. You do need a good blender or food processor for this job. Otherwise, it'll be quite difficult to make almond flour at home, and you might just be easier buying it. It does take a minute to sieve this flour, but it does give you a nice fine product. You will end up with some lumps of nuts in your sieve. That's totally fine. You can put them in a smoothie. You can use them for something else. You can put them in oatmeal, whatever you want to do with those. They're still good. There you go, homemade almond flour made at home, really simple. To make it last long and keep it fresh, I like to keep it in the fridge or even in the freezer. Right now, I'm just gonna weigh out the amount that I need for my frangipane. And as always, this recipe is on biggerbolderbaking.com. I'm going to add in my melted butter for just deliciousness. I like to use salted butter so you get that little bit of extra flavor. A little bit of all-purpose flour that helps thicken and give structure to the frangipane once it bakes. It's not just going to liquefy and disappear. Some granulated sugar for sweetness. A couple of eggs to help set it once it bakes. And then of course, almond extract. Now I have to say, I think one of my favorite baking ingredients is almond extract, maybe even over vanilla. I just love the flavor of it. It is strong, you definitely know when you're eating it, but I do find it very delicious. And then with a hand whisk, just whisk these ingredients together. I feel like frangipane is underutilized when it comes to baking. It's such a fantastic ingredient. I have it in my rustic summer tart, which is pastry with summer fruit on the top and then a frangipane layer underneath. It also is a fantastic addition to my gluten-free cherry almond pie. This is a beautiful pie that has a gluten-free pastry crust, and then it also has frangipane, which is gluten-free, and then cherries in season. That paired with the almonds, you just get this beautiful aroma of flavors. Of course, let's not forget my galette de roi that you have traditionally on the 6th of January, also known as king cake. It is puff pastry with frangipane in the middle and a little bit of apricot jam. And of course, how could I forget a pear and frangipane tart, a classic tart, very popular in England and in Ireland. I grew up eating them. It's simple yet absolutely delicious with a little bit of whipped cream on top. However you want to use your frangipane, be it in an almond croissant or a Bakewell tart, it will not go to waste. This lovely recipe will keep fresh in your fridge for up to 7 days and can be frozen for up to 8 weeks. If you like that bold baking basic, then get comfy. I've got loads more for you to check out. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you back here again really soon.